Well, it's 9 o'clock. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to do just a little introduction to everybody. For everybody, I just want to welcome everyone that is showing up. We are super excited. This is the first time that SAPPHO has done a webinar or a masterclass, and what a way to start. I am JoAnn Fowler. This is my company. I founded it in 2017, and this is how the day is going to go. I'm going to do a little introduction, and then we're going to do the masterclass, and then directly after the masterclass, Noemi Crepeau, our marketing and sales director, will come on and do the pull for the prize, for the SAPPHO prize, and then we'll have a Q&A. So you're all muted. The Q&A will be, you can just start putting questions in. If we have some downtime between the makeup or something, maybe Norma or Margot might answer a question then. However, most of the questions will be asked and answered at the end. And we're going to try to answer as many questions as possible. And what we can't get to, we'll send you the answer by email if you leave your email. The other thing is I'm going to ask you to keep all your questions to, things like color and texture and application. And all the ingredient and technical questions, just please do ask them, but write them down and leave your email, and we will get to those at the end, because really our experts today are, they're not experts in ingredients. They're experts in application and makeup. So without further ado, I want to introduce Norma Patton-Lowin, who in my estimation is one of the best makeup artists in the world. She trained at the BBC for years, and then she struck out on her own. And, I saw her work at the BBC. I used to watch Claudius, and I saw her do the very first prosthetics ever done on television. So when I met her, I was just thrilled. And, so Norma she struck out on her own. She has done, worked her magic in movies, everything from Out of Africa to Far and Away to Cool Runnings, and Catwoman, Twilight, New Moon, X-Men. It just goes on and on and on. But mostly for me in my life, Norma has been a mentor in wisdom. And she's someone that I love very, very much. And I am so happy for you to meet her today. And you're going to learn so much. It's just fantastic. And she has created this wonderful makeup that she designed for Margot. In all transparency, we've had a couple of run-throughs. So Margot's had a little bit of practice. So, if you're trying to do some of the techniques later, give yourself, a few times, right? And so that brings us to Margot Bingham, who is an amazing young actress from originally from Philly, but Pittsburgh. Sorry, I always get that mixed up.
It's all good.
Pittsburgh, and she is an actress that lives in New York City. We've seen her on She's Got Habit, Empire Boardwalk, New Amsterdam, and I met her on a show called The Family, and we did the pilot in Vancouver, and it was like 5 or 6 years ago. And there's those people in your life that when you meet them, it doesn't matter that they're 30 years younger than you are, or they come from another country, or come from a different background. There's just those people that stick. And Margot's one of those people. And we have kept in contact over the last 5-6 years. We started talking about a Margot color, probably like a week after we met. And so, so this is super exciting. And the thing is that we were actually ready to go last January. We had the colors, both of these women were very involved in the choosing of the color and the mixings of the color. And we were all ready to go last January, but as you know, COVID hit, we couldn't get our boxes. So here we are a year later, and I am so honored and humbled that these two women would come and do this for SAPPHO. So I'm just going to just stop now. Thank you all so much. And ladies, take it away.
Hey, hi, JoAnn. Thank you so much for inviting me to participate in this. I love SAPPHO. I love your products. I've been using them on most of my clients on various movies that I've been working on, and the skin just looks like silk, not just on camera, but in person, and everybody just loves it. So I'm very happy to be here with Margot, and we're going to show you how to do a kind of a daytime but smoky eye, slightly glamorous look. And it's a personal thing. You can tone it down or add to it, whatever suits you. So we're going to do what we think for a nice semi-glamorous day look. Margot, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Hi, Norma.
Right, hi.
Hi. I'm so excited to join you guys and everybody on the Zoom. I know that we all have Zoom fatigue, but this is a really special event. Norma, just on a personal note, it's been awesome getting to have these run-throughs with you personally, because I've learned so much from you just in the last couple times that I've done these run-throughs with you. And I'm really lucky to be able to have learned from you. And JoAnn, I know that you know how much SAPPHO means to me, but for everybody out there on this call, when I first met JoAnn, I was kind of new to green, clean skincare beauty stuff. It was not something really in my wheelhouse. It was not something that I really knew anything about. And at the time it was like kind of just starting. So when I got to Vancouver to shoot this pilot, which was one of the first leads of my career, it was like 7 years ago now, actually, JoAnn. Just a little fun fact, which is insane to think about. I was wearing like MAC and like heavy stuff. And this is actually the first time ever, and we'll be totally transparent on this call. Norma's amazing with just being honest, but I am completely honest as well. I have never, ever been no makeup, full face on a Zoom call or anything. So you guys are getting like flaws and all this morning, which is risky for me because I have adult acne. I have scarring on my face. I scar really easily because of my skin tone. But when I first met JoAnn, my cystic acne was so bad. It was really rough. It was really embarrassing. And JoAnn kind of pulled me over and she was like, "Hey, do you mind if I try my line on you?" And I was like, "Yeah, go ahead." And within a couple weeks, my skin actually started clearing up. And I was the person that woke up and like kind of went to the gym and had to put makeup on because I was just so embarrassed with what my skin looked like. But with SAPPHO, really let me breathe. It let my skin breathe for the first time, and it really started clearing up my skin. So since that moment, I've been a SAPPHO believer. I have totally drinking the Kool-Aid. Thanks, Rhea. It's just, these insecurities that we all have that we live with. I think sometimes on camera, we're kind of, and Norma knows this because she's on the other side of it, that she has to fix us. I think everybody expects for us always to look perfect and be perfect, but our skin reacts just like everybody else. And I definitely wake up sometimes with like a massive pimple and there's nothing that I can do about it, but that camera is going to be right up in my face. So I'm really lucky to have SAPPHO because the coverage is amazing and it really allows my skin to breathe and kind of cool down. And it never makes me feel self-conscious because I know that I'm always covered with SAPPHO. So I'm really excited to be showing this to you guys. This has kind of like been my secret arsenal, my secret weapon in my makeup wheelhouse for a very long time. So I'm really grateful to be able to be here and share this with you guys. So,
right,
should we start?
Get started. Yeah, let's go for it.
Okay.
So, first of all, we've got the liquid foundation, which I like to apply with a brush. There's the foundation brush. That's Margot's own color.
So because we're also brown people, we do have to kind of share and blend sometimes. You know, if you're a different shade, sometimes like in the winter right now in New York, I'm super, super light because there's no sun. So I look really pale. And then in the sun, I'm like really dark. So sometimes I have to blend a little bit. So how do we do that, Norma?
And you know, that's true for everyone actually, because as the seasons change, most people they're paler in the winter. And so for most people, they need probably 2 foundations and they can mix and match. And that's something they'll get to learn how to blend the colors together, whether you need a drop of one or more of another. And that's just practice. So you just put a little, I like to use a clean hand and I put it on the back of my hand quite often. That's how I work. Yeah. And then you can take a dab, rather than mixing the 2 actually together, you can just take dabs of each one and apply it as and where you need it. So,
and also when I get to the bottom of my bottle, I kind of like, I open this sometimes.
Yes.
And I like really just like put it on my hand, because whenever you know, every person on this Zoom knows when you get to the end of a bottle, it's hard to scoop out the life.
Yeah. Tip it upside down. Yeah. Tip it upside down and then let it drain, and then you can use those last bits. Yes. Saving the environment, saving money, saving everything. Yeah. Yes. Perfect.
So I have my SAPPHO shader brush. I don't know if it will focus in on here. I'm going to try my best, y'all. Yeah, shader brush. Yeah. It's kind of like angled. And I know that this is like a shader, but I like to use this for the foundation.
Yeah, and they do make a foundation brush too, which is a flatter version of that. But again, a lot of what we're talking about is personal choice. So we're giving ideas on what to use, but you can still mix and match your own ingredients with the foundation, the colors, and also the tools. So Margot, as she says, likes to use the shader brush, but we have a flatter foundation brush also. So, and this foundation is what we call, like to say buildable, which means you can put it on and you can shear it right out to almost nothing, or you can put a few more layers, or even stipple over areas that maybe problem areas if you've got a slight skin condition, melasma, which is darkening of the skin, or you've got as Margot says, a little bit of problem areas. Then you can just stipple, and that's just pat the skin, and it builds up, but still looks very natural.
So this is stippling, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Cool. And it just builds up and covers any problem areas.
You know, I have 2 things to say about the foundation, Norma, that I love. Whenever you put it on your hand, it really like heats up and activates.
Yes.
That's the cool thing about SAPPHO, is that like it has so many beautiful oils in it that that's why it blends so well to your skin. But when you put it on the back of your hand, as long as it's clean, everybody, we don't want the dirty hands. As long as you have it on a clean hand, it really kind of activates the foundation. And one trick that you told me, which I never knew, because I always was taught that you have to like take the foundation all the way down to your like collarbone line. Norma taught me this, and this blew my mind. She said, you don't have to take it down all the way. I might be getting this wrong, Norma, so fix me.
I will.
You don't have to take it down all the way if it's the right color.
Just blend it underneath the chin and just lightly take it down, not all the way. You don't need to take it all the way down. That's the trick of choosing the right color and mixing your colors.
Right. I always also take down all the way to like my shoulder blades,
down to your waist. Another thing you mentioned about the oils, I just have to say the oils are essential oils, so it's not an oil-based makeup. It's a water-based makeup, but it's got essential oils. It's and now JoAnn's going to go more into the ingredients, but just so you know, it's essential oils that are very complementary to any skin type.
So you guys can already see like how well this covers, and that was just one round, you know. So I'm gonna go back in and what is it? Stipple,
yes.
Stipple?
over those problem areas. I know you've got a couple sort of on your chin area.
I do, yeah.
Stipple
I kind of
a little there.
I break out like the most like on my hormonal zones. So I'm gonna stipple, just like Norma said, around those spots where I tend to scar a little bit more.
Yes.
And it might feel like a lot, but it actually doesn't. It blends like perfectly in. It's insane. So if you guys, if you like to go in on makeup coverage as much as I do, then SAPPHO is the place for you. Wow. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty awesome.
And then you're going to take the sponge. This is another trick that I really like to do. I get a sponge, and it's that's a blender. You can be doesn't have to be a blender. It can be another cosmetic sponge, and I like to damp it. So I put some water, and then I squeeze it out, or squeeze it in a Kleenex or some paper towel, and then press it into the skin. So it's like a pressing and rolling action, which just gets it into the skin and really makes it look very, very natural and sheer. Even the areas that you built up can look sheer because it just becomes one with the skin.
This took me a really long time to figure out how to get like the nice roll.
Yeah.
Because sometimes like I have like a little bit of a heavier hand. So when I press it, I really like press and pull. You don't necessarily need to do that. You don't need to beat your face up.
By rolling it, it's more gentle, and it helps to, rather than lift the makeup off, you actually blend it, smoothing the makeup out.
Right.
Someone's saying using a primer. Yes, SAPPHO does have a primer actually, which you can use also. We're not using it today, but yes, they're a very nice primer, which is suitable for every skin tone, every skin type. Sorry.
Okay, I think I'm rolled out.
Right. Good.
I'm rolled out.
I think you are. Yeah.
Okay. What's next?
Right. And now the concealer.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. We're using the caramel, as you can see on the screen.
So with this, it's the same thing that I like to do too with the foundation.
Put a little on the back of your hand.
Activate it. Now, this is going to sound crazy, and this is for every person who is not like very fancy with tools. I don't have like a makeup scratcher thing that like scratches out, inside the pot. So what I usually do is you can take the end of a spoon or a fork, making sure that it's clean, and you can just scoop it out, because sometimes this concealer can be a little dry before you put it on your hand. So I just scoop out a little bit, and I really put it on my hand.
Yes, don't use fingers, because even if you've just washed them, sometimes there can be bacteria under the nails, and then you put that into the pot, and then over time that will destroy the product.
So this is how much I have. It's just like a little scoop.
Yeah.
And then once it's on my hand, is it okay to then use my fingers?
Absolutely. Yeah. And that may even be a lot there, actually. You may
it's
find
a lot.
that you can, yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot for sure. Yeah, I'll show you guys my brushes in a little bit so that you can all see what I've been using, so that you know.
Yeah, and SAPPHO has a concealer brush. So you can, this again, a personal thing, you can just pat it on under the eye. And by patting it, what you're doing is you're warming it on the skin, and you're blending. And it's all about blending. We talk about blending all the time. Blending so that it becomes, there's no hard lines. It just blends into the foundation and under the eye. This can also be used a little bit down the center of the nose. Any areas where there's a little bit of darkness sometimes. So sometimes it can be around the nose area.
I get like little pockets underneath my nose.
Here. Yes. So it's a kind of a universal. You can use it for all of those things. Little touch down the center of the nose just kind of sculpts the nose a little bit.
is there like a place that you should stop on your nose?
I would stop just below the brow, just kind of between the eye, just kind of.
Okay.
Yes, but don't make it a hard stop. Just again blend it out so that it disappears.
So I hit like a little bit under my nose because, you know, you blow your nose, it gets a little red.
Yeah. And anyone who's a little bit more mature, any area that you feel has got shadows, like in this area, again, under the eye, but in this area, put a little bit just in that and then blend it out and up onto the cheek. And that just lightens that area and takes a few years off.
It's always nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like a magic pill. Okay. All right. I think honestly, most of my darker spots on my skin where like my scars are and most of my acne is, that's all kind of covered with the foundation. Yeah. So I don't really need to go in on this concealer so much. I like to put a little bit on my lid. Can I put a little on my lid?
You can put a little bit on your lid too, and particularly under the brow, but yeah, exactly. Really under the brow bone.
Because it gives it like almost like a nice natural highlight.
Yes.
Which is really nice. And it's so smooth. Ugh, love it. Okay.
Right. Now we're going to go with some of the beautiful powder, which is not actually a powder. The silky setting powder is aloe based. Again,
before the powder, can I use the buffer to brush this in?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I forgot that stage. Thank you, okay. Margot. Yes, this is a buffer. It feels like velvet. It's like a velvet puff, and you just buff that onto the skin, and it really, again, blends everything together and blends it into the skin.
Because you guys can kind of see, like there's like a little bit of a line difference in between. It's like between the coverage with the concealer and like maybe some of the sponge, the damp sponge brush of like pressing and rolling in. This bad boy just kind of like
polishes it
together. It literally polishes it. And it feels like a face massage too, which is not so bad.
Yeah.
Not so bad. I mean, look at that. That line that was there. Pretty nice.
And you don't need to press hard. It's just like a velvet puff over the entire face, just to smooth everything together.
Yeah, this is really nice.
It's very, very soft. Like I said, it's just like velvet.
And it's really nice. I mean, if you take it really lightly over your eye, sometimes in the morning I get like really puffy eyes, like there's air allergens and I'm super allergic to everything. So I get really puffy eyes sometimes. And whenever I'm going out, like I just kind of want like a little feel of just softness. This is like a pillow on your face. And I just kind of blend the same exact thing, like the little concealer that I put around my mouth. Just kind of doing.
Yeah, it just makes it all cohesive. It just blends everything together.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
I could do this all day, so tell me when to stop.
I think you're good to go.
Okay.
Now the powder. Thank you for reminding me of that. I don't know why, but there you go. So you can stop now.
Okay. All right. I'm done.
So
the powder, I just have like an
powder.
average brush, but SAPPHO has amazing powder brushes too. But I just have I have a lot of, sometimes I know that buying makeup is always, it's a financial investment. So sometimes brushes are limited. So if you have like a powder brush, it works really well. So I'm just using like an average powder brush.
Yeah. And I personally, some people like to just use the brush. I personally like to use a puff as well, which you can buy in any drugstore, pharmacy, or if you're in England, Boots the Chemist or one of those places. I like a powder puff, and I like to press it onto the skin. But the brush works well too.
So this is
the silky setting powder.
This is my favorite product.
It has no color whatsoever, and it kind of hydrates the skin at the same time as mattifying it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead a little bit. So when you dip your brush in, Norma, thank you, Anne. When you dip your brush in, there's like excess powder.
Just tap it off into the pot.
Okay.
On the edge, there, yeah. There you go. And or what I do sometimes is if there's a lot in the pot, then I just tip a little into the lid and work from the lid.
Oh, nice.
So that's a good way of doing it. So then you can control how much you put on the brush.
Awesome. Okay.
Yes.
So where am I putting this?
So you're putting this all over, actually, just to fix it. Yes.
So pick a spot.
Pick a spot and just, there you go. And this just fixes all of the work that you've just done and sets the makeup and sets you up for the day, actually.
It always feels really nice inside your eye and then just take it down your nose. I get a really oily nose sometimes, so that's really, really nice. Darlene, I'm with you.
Yeah, it's great.
This is my favorite. This is my favorite, like top 3 favorite SAPPHO products, because it just, you know, again, not to harp on adult acne, but it's real. Especially right now with COVID and all of like the maskne that we get because of the harsh cottons or materials, polyesters, nylons that you use on masks, which is the reason why like a lot of people are starting to get like, you know, acne around here. This powder, I feel like gives like almost a 3D effect. Like it really puts it down, you know?
Yeah.
And I think it has a lot to do with the aloe in it that's really cooling.
Yeah, and it's not powdery. It's actually, like I said, it is aloe based, and JoAnn will be able to explain more about what the ingredients are. That's good.
I mean,
perfect.
Flawless skin. Flawless.
Yeah.
This is the moment that Beyonce says, "I woke up like this," which nobody but her does. Okay, what do we have next?
We're going to do the contouring.
Cool. Okay, so contouring is
so you're going to use the Goddess. Yeah, there we go.
See how pretty that is? That highlight in there. It's so nice. So contouring is really meant to like bring out our facial shape, right?
It's a face shaper, basically. You're shaping the face. So yes, Bronze Goddess is what we're using today. And this is something again that I told you about, and you were shocked when I first told you about, actually taking it across the cheekbone and down, as opposed to
Yes, this is another crazy tip from Norma that I'm now using every single day of my life. And again, I have another angle brush I'm taking for the bronze. There is the SAPPHO blush brush, which I also have. You can't really see it in this light, but SAPPHO blush brush, which is really, really nice.
It's a little bit round for the contouring.
It's a little round for the contouring, and it's really just like your preference, whatever you feel good with. So if you have something in your place, grab it.
Exactly.
Okay, so for this tip that blows my mind, Norma told me that, because again, being a heavy-handed makeup applier, I like to really go in. I really want to show the fact that I do have cheekbones under these cheekies sometimes. But Norma taught me to take the contour and brush it down. So can you tell me how to do that again?
So you place it just where you can feel your cheekbone, and you only want to take it sort of halfway in. You don't want to go any further than right there, or a little bit further back, actually, a little further back. Yeah, you don't want to go
like the edge of your eye.
Yes, because then you'll blend it forward. But the depth of it should go there, and then brush it, stroke it down.
What's that? Yeah, I mean, it's really nice and subtle, but you guys can see the difference between the two. There's nothing. Like, that is so nice, and it's so small.
Yes.
And
And you
then
need so little of this too.
and then you also told me to take that I could take it a little bit into my hairline.
You can blend it into the hairline. Don't take the full color there. And if you need to, you can just go a little bit up onto your cheek if it's. But I think that the blush will do that. So that's giving you a nice sculpted cheek and jawline.
Yeah.
And again, you can use it down this very carefully and just very subtly down the sides of the nose, under the. If anyone feels they want to tighten up the look of the jaw, you can use a little bit along the jawline and just again blend it slightly down so that you're again contouring the. Just take it along the jawline, Margot. That's it. Yes, and then you can just blend it a little bit down, not all the way down your neck. Just
Okay. Okay. For anybody, and the product that I'm still using this Bronze Goddess, guys. I have not moved off of this. This is still the only contour that I'm using. This is the Bronze Goddess. I'm still using the same exact brush.
Yeah.
And I really, I take my time because I really want to make sure that I'm getting all the lines right. And also like following Norma's instructions so I don't mess up. So
if someone has a long face, then a little bit across the top of the hairline and even very carefully just across the chin, and that just shortens the face a little bit too. So if you feel like you've got a long face, you can just literally take it slightly across the jaw and then across the hairline too.
I always like a little shading here because I feel like sometimes my lighting is weird on my forehead. And I take like a nice little like brush on the bottom of my nose. It's like not very much, but it just kind of gives like a little boop button.
If someone has a slightly longer nose, if you've got a little short button nose, you wouldn't do that because that would accentuate that. So you wouldn't want to do that if you happen to have a little button nose. But
all right.
Yeah, great. Now we can go to blush.
Okay. It's in my same palette, but it's this one.
Yeah, that's what we call Love the Cheeks.
Love the Cheeks.
Yeah.
And this looks really pink.
But it's actually not.
It looks really pink, but when you take it off, it's really, really not. It's really nice and neutral.
Yeah. And also the SAPPHO colors are very finely milled. So you need the tiniest amount. You can always add more if you need it, but it's more difficult to take it away. So just use a tiny little bit, and then we'll show you how to use it.
So I'm now using a different brush than my contour brush. It's just a blush brush.
Yeah, just pat it onto the. Yeah, some people tend to want to run the brush across the color, and you'll get so much color, and it'll be a disaster. So you just want to pat the brush onto the color and get a little, and then you can always add more, as I said.
So with the contour, you have taking us down. Now with the blush,
we take it place it on the cheekbone, and then brush up so that you're creating again. You're contouring, but you're contouring with the blusher. So you just brush it up onto the cheek. Yes.
So you said almost like create so. like a C.
It gives a round, yes. So there we go. And that just gives a nice bloom to the cheek without it looking artificial, and it doesn't look too heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And see how it's just contouring the cheekbone?
That's so pretty.
Yeah.
And like so natural.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm doing the same exact thing for the other side too. So I'll tap, tap, tap a little bit. I usually do like 2 taps.
Yeah,
and
whatever
then
you need.
I like to kind of like hit it out too, because I have enough makeup on my hands. And then just do the other side.
Same thing.
Again, see, like a little boop. Like almost when Norma first taught me this, I thought about like going over a hillside. Like going over the hill. Up and over the hill. That was a good reminder. Not too much, but just right.
Yeah. And again, you can hit the chin with a tiny bit too, and then it adds a kind of a glow to the whole face. There we go. Yeah.
Yeah. Anywhere else that you could put blush?
this sounds crazy, but sometimes once I've used the blush and there's hardly anything left on the brush, I'll just maybe just go over my whole lid, and that just nice. Again, yeah.
That's
so
nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go.
There we go. Pretty. Now I do have this skin luminizer.
That you just took the words out of my mouth, because I was just going to mention that.
Great.
The skin luminizer, which it's got you can't see it. It's catching the light. No, it's catching the light. It's the shine. That's okay. It's the skin luminizer, and this is the medium.
Yep.
You've got the medium, and that again, take a little out and put it on your hand rather than putting your fingers in it. It's a cream. It's a kind of a dry cream. It's not greasy at all.
Yeah, it sometimes reminds me of the concealer too. It can get like a little dry and chalky, but so like sometimes when it does, I just take my spoon, take my fork, and just scrape a little bit,
little tiny bit out, and warm it on the back of your hand.
Yeah,
your hand is your palette. You're an artist, and it's your palette, so that's what you're working from.
I like that. We're all artists, all of us. So I just put it on the back of my hand.
Yeah, and then you can pat that along the top of your cheekbone.
Can't really see it.
There we go. Yes, and it's not sparkly. It just has a nice sheen to it. It's not over sparkly, and that you just pat along the top of your cheekbone. Yep, just there. Yep, along there, and also on the eye. We took it in the eye and onto the lid.
You
see how we've created a really nice shape to the cheekbone. It's really bringing out all the contours of the cheekbone.
I hear somebody talking to their baby.
Somebody's talking to JoAnn's talking to her dog.
Magoo? JoAnn, is that Magoo? Is that Magoo?
Yes,
little Magoo.
I didn't realize that I was not muted. But yes,
little Magoo.
Having a little visit. Her morning visit.
Magoo wants some skin luminizer.
She'd eat it for sure.
I was going to say probably to eat it instead of put it on.
And you can take that actually onto the lid, Margot.
Okay.
Especially in the corners. Just hit a little bit in the corners.
I'm gonna need to reapply.
Oh, you've used all that.
I've run out. So I'm just gonna do another little.
Yeah, and just a tiny bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you said where on your eyes?
I would put it on the lid and just kind of little hit just into the corners. So
like
just
the
get the. Yeah.
That's pretty. Nice little.
Yeah.
That's really pretty. Nice.
There we go.
Okay, so I had the luminizer here, just like a nice little on the top of my cheeks, nice little under my brow, taking it down onto the lid a little bit and a little bit inside.
Yeah. And someone asked what tone. It's a medium, but they make bronze and I think light is the other one.
Yeah, light. Mm-hmm. And also sometimes I like with this luminizer, I like to at the end, but I like to put like a little bit on my lip.
You can put but if you put it along the top, you can do that after or right now along the top of the lip. It just gives that pouty, sexy pouty look.
This looks crazy right now, but when it's all together, it really comes
and on the
together.
lip, it really needs to be blended in a little bit more.
Yeah. Here we go.
Here we go.
Cool.
Right. Now, we have an eyeshadow that's named after me.
Yes, we do. We sure do. Okay.
The Norma.
The Norma.
Which is a nice soft bronze color, but not sparkly. It's just got a nice sheen. For the more mature women, don't ever use very sparkly, overly shiny eye makeup, because it just enhances or any little texture you've got on the skin. So on the eyelids, you don't want to do that. You want to keep them with a slight sheen or matte. So just so you know, that's a good tip.
So where are we taking
Right,
Norma?
this we're putting this on the eyelid, but not right to the, just halfway, not right to the corner, just halfway through, and then a little tiny bit underneath the eye.
So can you do that with the same brush to take it underneath?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is there a technique whenever you take it, like, because sometimes what happens with me is I could put powder on a brush and it falls, it falls like on my cheek, and it's like I already just did my blush, I just did my highlighter.
Yeah. So get again, pat or roll the brush onto the shadow, and then tap off any excess. Just tap off the excess onto. Yeah. Or if you tap the brush onto the edge of the brush, so it's not touching the shadow, but just perfect. Yes. And it just takes off the excess. Yeah. And then you can blend it onto your lid.
Great. Okay. So I put it on my lid, not all the way in.
No, about halfway. And then you can use kind of the tip to go underneath the eye.
Sometimes if it's a really fluffy brush like this one,
yes,
I kind of squeeze it.
Squeeze it. Yeah, you can to make it thinner, and then just run it. Just gives a nice soft color underneath without looking like a hard line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You guys can really see it.
There we are. Yes.
I mean, Norma is my second favorite.
And then take it a little bit up onto what we call the brow bone. This is the brow bone. So you just blend it up onto the brow bone. Yes, that's exactly right. So you're softening that edge. It's not a hard edge. It just all blends out into the up towards the eyebrow, and then subtly underneath too.
I have to blend it on this side because I didn't do that.
That's right.
Then take it up. Stephanie, I think you can actually fix your screen. That's like a personal viewing thing. If you're on your phone, you could swipe it over, or if you're on your iPad, you could swipe it over, but you should be able to see Norma and I at the same time. That's for anybody who isn't able to see both of us at the same time for a double screen. Okay, so.
There we are. Yes, very nice.
Okay.
Stephanie, there might be a on the top of the screen, you're on a computer, and it says gallery. I think that's I'm not techie, so I'm not the one to be answering this.
Gallery view or speaker view.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm brushing this, blending.
Yeah. And then perfect. Now we need Raven, which is a black.
Okay, so the Raven is
There's
this
the
guy.
Raven. Yes.
Black.
Yep.
This is a little, my Raven is a little loved. So that's the line in it. It's just because, I use this stuff every single day.
Yeah. If someone's worried about getting a transference onto their face with shadow, you can take a little Kleenex and just hold it like that while you do the shadow.
Oh, that's a good one.
So that will just catch anything. So I know some people like to do the shadow and eye makeup first and then do the foundation. I like to do all the foundation first because it gives a nice cohesive look, and you can then see how it's going to all blend together. That's a personal preference. Some people like to do the eyes and then do the face last. That's not how I do it.
So what are we? Yeah, I always like doing my face first before my eyeshadow. But I know a lot of people like their eyes first. But
but just
whatever floats your boat.
Yeah, and if you're worried, like I said, about it dropping, it's so easy just to put a Kleenex just underneath and then just do your shadow like that.
So what are we doing with this Raven?
The Raven, we're taking that along the last kind of third of the eye, and then just again a tiny bit just underneath, just with a fine brush,
So SAPPHO is a
let-
really nice thin brush, and it's really nice just to kind of, you know, put it in the shadow and then really nice line it. It really leaves a nice little line.
Yeah. So I would go along as close to the lash as if you're doing an eyeline with the powder, just along the lash to to create a kind of a smudgy eyeline, and then blend that up onto the edge of the eye. Yeah. And then take that onto the last kind of corner of the eye and blend it up into the eyelid. If you go in towards the lid, Margot, like this way.
Like
yes.
that?
Yes.
Could you also then like take your other brush that you use with Norma? Could you take that to blend anything?
You can use that and blend the whole thing together.
Oh, nice.
If you wanted to.
So after I take the line, do I bring that underneath?
A little bit underneath, yes.
Okay.
And it
Where
gives
do
that
I
nice
stop?
about 3/4. So not all the way to the middle, because you can close up the eye. So
like here.
About 3/4 on the inside, just and softly blend that so you don't get a hard line. There you go. Yeah.
And it's really nice because it goes subtly over the Norma, which is really nice.
Yeah. And you can actually take it a little bit more onto the lid, so you're creating a bit more of a there. Yes.
I'm just kind of like literally pulling it up. Really nice.
There we are. That's nice. And then the same on the other eye.
Cool.
What a surprise!
If I could do both. Okay. Somebody asked what pressure. I'm really, really light. I mean, as heavy-handed as I am for like my foundation, my eyeshadows, I'm very, very light. I don't know if I'm just really sensitive, like around my eyes, to be, like,
and you
really
should
cautious. But yeah, we all should be around our eyeballs. But I'm definitely light because I'm also cautious about having like the powder fall on my skin because I just went in on my foundation.
Yeah. The other reason is the skin around our eyes is very, very delicate. It's thinner than the rest of our face, and it's very delicate. So you don't want to be pulling that skin. So the lightest touch is always the best.
So I'm taking it out and then I'm pulling it up.
Yeah. Yeah. You can do the action that you're using, or you can also, like I said, take it to the outer edge and blend it in. So you're again, a personal, you can blend it out if you want more of a cat eye, or you can round it in towards the center of the eye to create more of a rounded look. That's
I kind of do both a little bit because I do like a cat eye for my eye. But then I kind of cap it at the end.
Yeah, it's like a soft cat eye.
And then I take it down. And then you said stop like 3/4.
Yes,
right?
about 3/4, yes.
Okay.
Now, if you're going to use a kohl pencil, if you want like an evening look and you want to be much more dramatic, you could take that all the way in. So it's all about mix and match and what suits you, and you play and find out what you like and what the occasion is even as well.
Yeah, I took it light on the Raven.
I like it.
I really like because it's nice and subtle, and it's something that is like, I could do this during the day and it looks totally like flawless and just very simple. And then if I really want to like do it up more at night, I just like add a thicker line. You can add a liquid line or, like a thicker pencil or something, add like a couple lashes, and it's like, that's evening.
Yeah. And we can use the Raven slightly damp with a damp brush to even do an eyeline. We can make it a little bit more defined.
I'm gonna do that.
You're gonna do that, yes.
I really like that. So I'm gonna do the same exact brush.
And we just damp it a little bit. So it's not wet. It's just damp, and just use the edge of the shadow.
So this is also something that you want to use the edge of the shadow too when you damp it, because you don't want to crack the powder, right?
Yes, don't want to ruin the surface of the powder. So just use the very edge. Yes.
You guys can see I've ruined my surface of my powder because I didn't learn from Norma beforehand. So you're welcome. So learn from my mistakes, everyone. So I'm just gonna do a little corner.
Yeah, there we go. That's great that you're showing everybody how to do that.
And then this is for the bottom line, right?
Again, I would go just very close to the lashes, as if you're doing an eye line, a top line, yes, but very as if you're painting it on the lash, because you don't want to spoil the smudgy, smoky line that you've already got there, and it just adds that bit of extra dimension. Yeah, and you can take that in.
Yeah, I like to take that like really into the...
Take that in, yes.
I always prefer a top line over a bottom line, but that just kind of, again, my own personal preference. Yeah.
And if you wanted a cleaner look, then don't do the smudgy shadow first. Just take the dampened Raven and just do an eyeline with it. So that will give you a much cleaner look. So again, it's all about options, and this is what we have now.
So my brush is still pretty damp from the first one, so I don't need to like re-dampen it. I just kind of reapply some of the makeup, and I'll just take it again on the top.
Yeah.
Bring it across my line, my lash line. I'll bring it in a little bit just to define that inner eye.
There we are.
And again, really, this is really, really soft. This is not, my pressure is like not heavy-handed at all. I'm barely touching my eye at all.
And I don't think we need to do it underneath. I think we just keep it soft. I don't think we need to put that underneath.
I think I'd put it underneath on this side. Should I?
Yeah, just put a tiny bit.
Sorry.
That's okay. Yeah, good. Okay,
nice.
We're ready for some mascara.
Beautiful.
Now, SAPPHO mascara, I absolutely love. There's no chemicals, as with all the products. No chemicals. It goes on beautifully, lengthens, thickens, and it's not waterproof, which is what you don't want, because it's whatever's in the waterproofing is bad for your eyes. So what this is what I suggested you,
because this is, everybody needs to listen up to this mascara hack. This is like mascara Norma hack extraordinaire. Please listen to this hack. Go for it.
Okay, so if you're doing your makeup in your bathroom mirror or looking in the mirror, then you need to just throw your head back, and then you can really brush on your lashes and give them a good lift and blink onto the mascara brush very slowly, and you get a great lift on your lashes. If you're holding a mirror in your hand,
sorry, everybody's right up my nose. You're going to see right up my nose, but this is the honest truth. This is what you get with the SAPPHO Zoom. All TMI, right up your nose.
Yeah. If you're holding a mirror, then hold the mirror down below your face and look down into it, and then you get the same effect. You could get a nice sweep and lift on your lashes.
So I'm going to do this side the one way. So I'm blinking onto the brush.
Yes, just very slowly.
Very slowly, because I can poke my eyeball out.
Can you feel how it's just picking up the lashes and giving them a great lift? You can see it, actually. You can see it on the screen.
Norma and I were joking the last time that we went through the run-through of this, that mascara is one of those products that it is so unattractive when you put it on. You always look like you're just like troubled.
Pulling faces, pulling kinds of faces.
You know, like there's nothing else that you put on your face. Like you can put on blush and you're smiling, and you put on your contour and you're like, you know, everything else is super cute, and then you put on mascara and you're like,
yeah,
so unattractive.
And I like to, I've got one here. What I like to is sometimes, if you want to really get to separate the lashes, you can go in with the tip of the brush and just kind of poke them up, and there you go. And then you can just spread them out at the ends to create a nice width to the eye.
Yeah, it's totally like we're combing our lashes.
Yes. And use the tip to do the under lashes as well.
What do you mean by that?
So use the tip, and you just run the tip, rather than trying to do it that way. You're likely to get it on your skin. Just use the tip and just paint it on your lash and separate them out.
Nice.
You see how it's so much easier if you just use the tip of the mascara brush, the mascara
Sometimes
wand.
I get like little clumpies, and I just kind of pull them out.
Okay, you know what's great for that?
What?
I'm sure we've all got old mascaras. So wash the brush, wash it very thoroughly. Keep the brush, throw out the mascara, keep the brush. Then you can use that old brush to separate your lashes and pick up any of those little bits that you said you found.
Oh, that's nice too.
Yeah, and you can use it as an eyebrow brush. You can use those mascara wands for all kinds of things.
So the first technique was lean back and blink onto the brush.
Yeah.
Second technique, look at a mirror. And then what?
When you're looking down into the mirror, then you can do the same thing. You can get that lift without it getting onto your eyelid. There we go.
Don't expect any better of a non-attractive mascara face, but two different options.
Yeah.
I'm going to do the same exact thing. I'm going to take the tip of this brush and just brush it up.
Just work them out and get them separated. And and you can do a couple of coats again, if whatever you want to do. If you want a very, very natural look, just one coat will do. But I love mascara, so most people do. They just keep adding and adding, but it never looks clumpy. It just looks really thick and full, but without looking clumpy.
Totally. Okay, and then I'm going to take the same exact thing, same exact brush, same exact tip, and just hit the bottom line.
Yes. And then just use it to just straighten them out. There you go. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Mascara face. Face. Nice. Wow.
Okay.
Guys, look at those lashes. Yes, Sappho.
Yeah. Now we're going to do some brows.
Yes, we are.
Now, if you've kept your old mascara brush dry, this is what you could use it to brush through your eyebrows first before you start painting them in, coloring them.
So I do not have an old mascara brush.
But that's okay. You've got fab brows anyway.
They're going every which way. Now this Sappho,
the brow
angle
pomade.
Brush.
Yep.
This is the angle brush, and I really, really love this brush for the brows. Yeah. Because it's nice and smooth. And then I use my Sappho brow pomade, which is life-changing.
It's because it's thickening as well. It has a slight thickening effect as well as coloring. Yeah.
So I just take my brush.
Now to get the perfect length of brow, what we say is we take from the nose up for the center line. That's where they should start.
Okay.
And from the edge of the nose out to the eye is where they should end. Yeah. And then the arch should be where the pupil is. So it should arch to where the pupil is and then come. So that's the perfect size of brow.
So it's like shape. Like a little protractor. It's like a little triangle. So it's like boom, boom, boom.
Right.
Right? Okay. Norma's like, just put it on.
And brows, we like to say brows are sisters, not twins. They don't have to be exactly the same. And in fact,
Because mine are 100% never the same. I definitely have like a bush and then just like a line. That's good. Oh, that's good. I'm very specific with my brows though, because I want it to look as real as possible. I am one of those people that I tried to grow out some bushy brows, even though it looks like to y'all some bushy brows. I still have some spots that are missing. Everybody does. It's just
But
like,
this fills it in.
But this totally fills it in. Like I have like a little patch here always.
Yeah.
That is like just really empty. But then I just take it and I just like brush it. Again, my pressure is super, super light. And I just like, I almost like paint it like a line.
Yeah. What I do is I actually use an eyeliner brush for mine, because I have no brows whatsoever.
Nice.
Mine might have disappeared over the years, but I use an actual eyeliner brush and I paint in the hairs and to define mine. So again, personal choice. You can use this brush. If you've got some brows, it's great for brushing the hairs and also filling in.
And I like when it doesn't like match underneath, because I mean, like I like the bushier look. I like a fuller look. So I used to get like my eyebrows threaded and tweezed all the time and waxed and all that. And like, then it was tricky to make that exactly the perfect line. But with a bushier brow, I just kind of, it's okay if it's not perfect. I also really like imperfections in hair and makeup.
Yeah.
Okay. First one is done.
It's done.
Look at those. Look at those bad boys. Look at the difference. Whew.
Yeah.
Same exact thing on the other side. Okay, so we're taking it center.
Yep.
Middle.
And then out to the
outer edge.
Yes.
And I'm just taking it at the bottom, brushing up that line.
And someone was asking about powder. Yes, you can use, if you like to use a powder, then you can use one of the eyeshadows, which I've often used. The Chloe is a good color actually for brows. It's
yeah,
and it just fills in a bit of extra thickness if you want to. But I find that this thickens really well.
I feel like so is Jono too.
Yes,
a good one. That's a good brown color from SAPPHO. And then, so I'm taking it out, right?
Just to that where I said to the, yes, to there. That should be where you stop.
Okay.
And nature doesn't make our faces completely symmetrical. If you were to put your photograph one side of your face and then the other side of your face, they're never the same. So to try and make it absolutely symmetrical kind of throws it off a little bit. We're not meant to be absolutely symmetrical.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so my brow is done. I used my brow pomade.
Yeah.
Did my angle brush with my brow pomade, and my brows are full.
What I like to do also is I powder them. I put a little bit of powder on the top just to fix them. Now,
can I ask you, Norma, before we do that, I
mascara?
like to put some mascara on them.
Well, I do that after the powder.
Okay.
Yeah.
You beat me to it. So you guys are about to hear, if you're not like hip to this makeup tip, this is a really good one. But Norma basically just told me that I should powder my brush or my brows, same exact powder brush that I used earlier. This is the translucent silky setting powder. This is the white stuff that I put all over my face, the aloe powder. That I could use a little bit of this over my brows.
Yeah, very little.
Very little. So I'm going to use your tip that you said before. Put a little bit of the powder in the lid.
Yeah.
In the lid. You guys
then you can control it.
Yeah. So I really tap it, and then I tap the edge of my brush. Yes. And then I just brush it over?
On your brows, yes.
Ooh, yes.
And that will just fix it.
Wow. Wow, look at that.
Okay. Yeah. Now we can get to the mascara. If you want to pick out those brow hairs and really separate them and add even more dimension, take your mascara wand, scrape off the excess into the tube. Yeah, and you can even, if there's still a lot on there, you could just take a little Kleenex because you don't want too much. And then you can just literally pick up the little hairs and just define them.
This is my favorite.
I
never, like when I do my brows, I never leave the house without mascara on my brows. That sounds crazy, but like I love that dramatic 3D effect of just like hairs going everywhere.
Hopefully,
I love the crazy. I love the crazy. I know it sounds crazy. So it's just really, really light.
Don't use it on blonde brows. Whoever was, sorry, I didn't see your name. You wouldn't want to use this on your blonde brows.
Oh yeah, that would change your whole brow color.
That would be, yes.
You would be giving your brows a dye job. And I'm like not pressing hard at all. It's basically, I'm just combing like a little, like almost barely touching my brows. I barely just touch my brows.
That's right. You don't want to.
Because this can come off real thick, but if it doesn't, and you do it like really nice and it's almost just a very subtle touch, it just really just defines it a little bit more.
Yes.
Beautiful, Norma.
Okay.
What's next?
And we have the hazy. The lip gloss.
Lip color.
Which there's one called Rita, which I
like the Rita.
I love. I have Rita on.
Yeah, I like the Rita, but for this look that Norma was helping me create, I love this because it's just like, it's very carefree and everyday. And with the hazy, it's so nice and nude that it's like, it's really not even trying.
Yeah.
Feels really nice. It's a nice like little pink.
Yeah. The Rita
really
has
nice.
a bit more, this is Rita, has a bit more depth to it.
So remember guys, I had the skin luminizer.
Just on the top of the lip.
On the top. You can kind of still see it with that highlight that I put here and highlight that I put here. And this is like now the time that it really blends nicely.
Yeah. And that little luminizer on the tiny bit, people don't go crazy, but the tiny little bit that you've got, it just gives that pouty look to the lips and makes them look a little bit fuller.
And that's so nice and nude. And then has like that nice little highlight right there.
Mm-hmm. There we go.
Amazing. And this is the final look. I have to put down the lioness hair to make it look
the incredible hair. Yes, look at that.
Insane.
Amazing hair.
And then I'm ready to go. Ready to go.
There we go. Lovely.
Thank you, Norma.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you everybody for watching, and I hope that you picked up some good tips. And
and I want to show just the brushes really quickly that I use, just so that you guys can see it. So I used this guy. I used my SAPPHO shader.
Yeah, SAPPHO has a whole set, by the way, of concealer, shader, foundation brush, the buffer brush, eyeliner. Yeah, they have the whole line that you can get.
Mm-hmm. I used a basic powder brush.
I'm jealous of her hair too. Whoever's saying they're jealous of Margot's hair, me too. I love her hair. It's amazing.
And then the sponge. So these were the brushes. What was it?
Yes.
That was all.
And you can always own a shadow brush as well. I didn't mention the shadow brush, but it's good to get 2 or 3 shadow brushes, because if you're using different colors, then it's really nice to have a few so that you're not mixing up the colors.
Yeah. I even use sometimes the SAPPHO concealer brush.
For shadow, absolutely.
I use that sometimes, and I take it down for the shadow, and it's really nice instead of having to pinch like we did. that's really nice to really
To
take
go
it
underneath. Yes.
Yeah. Amazing. My gosh, I feel so glam.
You look gorgeous.
So beautiful. Yeah, you look so beautiful. It's just such a treat watching this. I am so, so grateful. And I just also want to mention to everyone that you're going to be seeing Margot on The Walking Dead in a couple of weeks. Hopefully they're going to be starting to film soon. And
Yeah.
you know, as everyone knows, or maybe you don't know, I was the head makeup artist on the L Word for 6.5 years in the Wayback Machine. And now Norma is actually Jennifer Beals' personal on the L Word Q Generation. So it's keeping it in the family. It's just so amazing. And also, you're going to be able to see Norma's work in a film that was released at the Toronto Film Festival this year called Bruised, directed by Halle Berry. And you're going to be able to see her amazing, amazing prosthetic work. And it got great.
It's coming out. It's actually coming out on Netflix, JoAnn, around September as well.
Awesome. I'm really looking forward. I just want to thank everyone. Noemi's going to come on, give away the prize. We have a ton of questions for you women. So hang in there. And anyone that needs to go, you know, bless you. Thank you for coming. And
yes, thank you.